Well, there you take a look at the umpires and coaches meeting as starting lineups. Handshakes and pleasantries being exchanged at home plate as it is time for softball. It is the opening round of the 2025 sectionals as the winner will advance to next week's second round. The loser will pack up their gear until next season. Welcome aboard, everybody. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show is underway. Brent Palbinot saying thank you for joining us. As there you see the Defiance Bulldogs at 16-10 overall, 6-3 in the WBL, taking on the Lima Senior Spartans. The Spartans again entering this afternoon's contest at 8-6 overall, 5-0 in the Toledo City League. We are going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will have the national anthem and your starting lineups. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Both teams lining up along their respective dugouts, foul lines as we get set for the playing of our national anthem. As the Bulldogs welcoming the Spartans of Lima Senior as we are getting set for the opener of sectional playoff action. Again, as we mentioned, the Spartans enter today's game on the road at 8-6 overall, 5-0 in the Toledo City League. The Bulldogs 16-10, 6-3. It's time now for our national anthem, brought to you by the Defiance County Veterans Office. National anthem, courtesy of our underwriter, the Defiance County Veterans Office, proud to support local veterans and their families, connecting them with resources available to them. If you have questions for what you might be eligible for, give their office a call at 419-782-6861. Time now for the starting lineups, brought to you by Baker Schindler Company, proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, baker-schindler.com. Let's take a look at the defense for the Defiance Bulldogs, and again, no real surprises. As a matter of fact, pretty much the same as what we saw last game, with the exception of catcher Chloe Seiler, after being banged up all season long, is back behind the plate. But Addie Miller, the baby shark, will be in the circle. She has really come on strong toward the tail end of the season. She's got 9 wins against 7 losses. She's got an ERA of 3.37, and she has done a fantastic job in 92 2/3 innings pitched, allowing just 98 hits, 67 runs, but only 39 earned. She's walked 19 while striking out 101, so better than a 3-to-1 average. The infield defense around the grass looks like this. Junior, senior, freshman, senior on the infield. Bella Gutierrez, Ava Cullen, Addie Roth, and Amira Jalad at first. From left to right in the green, it goes junior, sophomore, Ellie Ward, Bella Rollison, and Natalie Ordway. Let's go ahead and take a look at the batting order for the Spartans of Lima Senior, and they've got some pretty heavy hitters, especially in the upper half of that lineup. Jack Kohlhofer will be doing the pitching this afternoon, but she will also be leading things off. Kohlhofer hitting an impressive .590 with a .643 on-base percentage. She also has 8 home runs. She will be playing her college ball at the University of Northern Ohio. She's the only member of the Spartan roster who plans on playing after she graduates. Mallory Gibson will bat second. Gibson also hitting a healthy .583. Gibson also with 5 home runs and 27 RBI. Batting third, it will be Angie Kohlhofer. Again, Kohlhofer, you've got a couple of them on this roster. She will complete the other half of the battery. She's the catcher. Amaya King will be your first baseman, hitting cleanup. Ariana Edens will be the third baseman. She's batting fifth. Cadence Holbrook will be roaming center field. Holbrook on the season hitting .567 out of the 6-hole. Morgan Cunningham will be your left fielder. She will bat seventh. Ariana Compton will be roaming right, hitting eighth. And Jaelia Wilson will be your second baseman, hitting in the 9-hole. As you take a look at the Spartans there, wearing their traveling black uniforms with the red lettering and numerals with the red stirrups. That is really going to soak up the sun here this afternoon, as we've got a little bit of a breeze trying to take the edge off of things. There you see the stars and stripes. It is blowing lazily across the diamond from right to left here this afternoon. But you take a look at the temperature, and again, 83 degrees, but on that turf, it's going to feel even warmer at around 87 degrees. A little bit of humid, not terribly humid, but there is a little stickiness to the air. We'll see if that affects how fly balls maybe travel here this afternoon. And the winds, again, at about 10 miles an hour. But trust me, nobody is complaining about a breeze here this afternoon, as it is welcome. Again, Defiance in their home white jersey tops with the blue lettering and numerals, with the blue trousers and the white stirrups. And the starters being introduced right now down the third base line. Again, it's been a long season, but everybody looking to play at least one more, as the Spartans come into this one off of a win against Bousher, 11-0. They actually have a game tomorrow that will decide the Toledo City League Championship, so they aren't quite done yet, regardless of the outcome here today. On the flip side, again, Defiance had a 3-game win streak snapped a couple days ago at Lincoln View, but they got back on the winning track with a pounding of Tenora just a couple days ago, 26-3, and they've got Lima Senior here this afternoon looking to advance to next week's second round. Again, top-seeded Salina awaits the winner of today's game. Now the pleasantries and all the pageantries of the pregame taking place, and there you get a good look from our center field camera as the freshman, Baby Shark, Addie Miller, finishing her warm-ups. Addie, in our last broadcast, did a tremendous job, went the distance. And again, a situation where she has earned the starting spot as she took care of Shawnee. Should have had a shutout, but gave up 3 straight singles in the top of the 7th inning before everybody got refocused. 1 run did come home. She will work a lot of spin. Likes the curve. We'll mix in the fastball. We'll change it up. But she said she likes her screwball as her swing and miss pitch. We'll wait and see on a perfect day to play softball how much in control of her repertoire she is. As you see Chloe Seiler there with a couple of words of encouragement for the young freshman. It is time for the Arthur Law Firm first pitch. Passionate, professional, personal. Learn more at arthurlawfirm.com. So Jack Kohlhofer will dig in, her counterpart from the right side. Hofer, as we mentioned, hitting a robust .590 with an on-base percentage of .643. She gets aboard. She's had 7 walks and only 3 strikeouts the entire season. Looking at a 1-0 count. This one paints the black on the outside corner. 1-1. Our men in blue have drawn the following assignments this afternoon. Behind home plate, he's got the call of balls and strikes, James Renault. And our field umpire is Joshua Walter. As the 1-1 pulled a string, got her out in front of it, strike 2. Kohlhofer with a practice swing before she steps back in. Will need to be protecting. She will work a lot of spin, as there you see Kohlhofer hitting .590. As this one looked like maybe a change-up or a bender that just kind of slipped out of Miller's hands. That rolls across home plate. Evens the count up at 2 apiece. With that wind blowing across the diamond, a little bit deeper of an outfield than we're used to seeing, as this one is fouled straight back. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rollison in center is playing deeper than usual by probably about a good 7 or 8 feet. Likewise, Ward in left is playing a little bit deep. And maybe a couple steps back from normal play depth in right field, Natalie Ordway. The 2-2. Miller deals. Fouled away again. Kohlhofer hanging tough with 2 strikes. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Miller working over a new ball. Checks her wristband in her progressions and now toes the rubber. The 2-2. Fouled away. Kohlhofer really being pesky right now with 2 strikes. Miller checks her wristband again. Looking for something she can get by Kohlhofer. Kohlhofer very deep in the box. Took something off of it. Swing and a miss. Seiler will make the tag for good measure. And we've got a Premier Bank strikeout to open up the ball game. So 1 down. That'll bring up Mallory Gibson. Gibson, again, another healthy batting average, hitting .583 on the season. Top half of this lineup is basically murderer's row. First pitch is in there. Again, Addie Miller with a very distinct pre-pitch ritual. When she gets the ball back, we'll break it down for you. Swing and a miss. She rode the ladder on her. Strike 2. She gets the ball back, and there you see her. She will walk out of the circle about a good 4 or 5 steps. Faces it. Takes a deep breath. Takes a quick step to the bump, and then she's ready to pitch the minute she gets there. As this one misses way upstairs, ball 1. Beautiful sunshiny day. Temperatures again in the 70s, upper 70s. And with the turf they've got here at Defiance, what they call feet heat, it's going to be about a good 6 or 7 degrees warmer on the field. As the 1-2, Miller deals, misses inside. Gibson not biting. Gibson has been very patient at the plate this season. She's tied for the lead in walks with a dozen for the Spartans. Is this one a chopper? Going to have to charge it in. Roth at second. Boy, got on top of that one quickly, and they get her by several steps, 2 away. So 2 down. That'll bring up Angie Kohlhofer. Angie Kohlhofer, boy, hitting just .465. The first 2 hitters hitting above 500 on the Spartan roster. Kohlhofer can't look past her either. The top 5 or 6 hitters in this roster, on this roster, I should say, very tough. As nibbling on the outside corner and a little bit of a delayed call. Home plate umpire James Renault raises his right hand. Strike 1. Miller taking her time before she steps back into the circle. Gets the signal. Checks her wristband, gets the grip on the ball. Rocks and fires, misses high. Plenty of area action as far as postseason is concerned in Ohio High School girls softball starting this weekend. Changeup out in front of it, chopped foul up the third base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As we mentioned, Defiance taking on Lima Senior. You're watching it right here. Elsewhere out of this bracket, this is the Northwest 2 sectional/district bracket in Division 3. Second seeded Elida taking on Lima Shawnee as this one fouled straight back. Boy, Miller came right at her. Kohlhofer just didn't barrel it up. Also, Wapakoneta, the 4th seed, taking on Bowling Green, the 5th seed, as top-seeded Salina draws a first-round bye. Miller, the 1-2. Pulls a string outside. Speaking of first-round byes, other area schools of interest, Defiance on the field today. Ayersville drawing a first-round bye in Northwest 6 Division 7 action. They won't play until next Wednesday, at least as far as playoffs are concerned. This one popped foul right side. It will bounce off the first base dugout. Tenora and Defiance are scheduled to play a conference game tomorrow. It was originally scheduled to be played today, but with a rainout earlier this week, Mother Nature messing with some of the schedules still. 2-2. Miller deals. This one's in the cellar. Good hold by Kohlhofer, and the count is full. Speaking of the aforementioned Tenora, the Rams are in action as the 6th seed in Division 6 Northwest 1 sectional districts. It's the payoff pitch, popped up, shallow right, drifting back, and the freshman second baseman Roth fighting the sun but makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 inning here to end the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're through 1/2 inning. Spartans nothing. Bulldogs coming to the plate. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Visit Mark Motes Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Motes Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmotesford.com.
Soaking in the sun, and a good idea to have a cap or a white hat here this afternoon. Little sunscreen and something cool to take the edge off the heat as we welcome you back to Defiance. Bottom of the first. It is the opening round of the sectional playoffs as Defiance welcoming Lima Senior. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Lima Senior defense as Ava Cullen will dig in. Bulldogs shortstop facing Jack Kohlhofer. First pitch is in there. Kohlhofer to Kohlhofer. As the battery, all Kohlhofers from left to right on the infield. It goes Ariana Edens at third, Mallory Gibson at short, Jaelia Wilson at second, and Amaya King at first. From left to right in the outfield, Morgan Cunningham, Cadence Holbrook, and McKaylee Lott. Let's take a peek at the Defiance batting order. Really no surprises. Standout shortstop, Ava Cullen, who is hitting an even .500. Trying to get something going here in the bottom of the first as she kind of nubs this one. A little bit of a humpback liner just behind second base. Wilson drifts over to make the catch for the game's first out, or pardon me, the inning's first out. Bella Gutierrez hitting second. Pitcher Addie Miller hitting third. Ellie Ward will be roaming left field. Ellie Ward will be batting in the cleanup spot, hitting .325. Natalie Ordway in right. Addie Roth batting sixth. She'll be your second baseman. Amira Jalab, the senior first baseman. Chloe Seiler, good to see Nails back behind the plate. She's got the gear on. She'll hit eighth. And your designated player, Viviana King Mayeku. As Gutierrez takes strike one. Bella hitting .282. Squares to bunt, pulls back, and takes in the cellar. Evens things up at a ball and a strike, Edens still thinking Gutierrez might bunt. She is about 4 or 5 steps in front of the bag at third. Likewise, so is King at first. Gutierrez right on top of the plate. Kohlhofer deals. It's way upstairs, and Gutierrez doesn't tip. Hear the energy and the chants coming from the Defiance dugout. Swing and a miss. She challenged her above the letters. Gutierrez couldn't catch up to it. Two and two. Way upstairs, ball three. Big pitch coming up here with one down. Count full. Gutierrez right on top of the plate. Kohlhofer deals, got her swinging. Strike three. Well, there's a second Premier Bank strikeout of the afternoon. Both pitchers with one apiece. So that'll bring up Addie Miller. Two down, nobody aboard. Miller with a very open stance. Miller hitting a healthy .407 on the season. Takes strike one. Kohlhofer rocks and fires, misses high. One and one. Kohlhofer gets the sign. Deals. This one lifted into left field. It's traveling very deep. Center fielder Holbrook is back at the track, and it's just over her head. Standing up into second base with a two-out double. Addie Miller almost went yard. Holbrook was back, and it looked like for a second she had a beat on it, but that wind maybe gave that fly ball just a little something extra. And we're going to have a courtesy runner.
Entering the game as a courtesy runner is number 23, Ruth Green.
Green is going to check in to be the courtesy runner.
Now batting left fielder Ellie Ward.
So the go-ahead run now standing at second base for Ellie Ward. Ward hitting .325 in the cleanup spot. She's got herself ooh! She takes a shot and bites her lower lip as she hurls the bat back to the dugout. I understand exactly what that feeling's like. Get a little of that pent-up energy out. And she will trot down to first, and now she's smiling. Coach Barsowitz saying, hey, you earned that one. So here's Natalie Ordway digging in from the right side. All of a sudden, a little two-out rally going here for the Bulldogs. Runners at first and second. Ordway, first pitch swinging, fouls it back. Ordway hitting a healthy .304 with 26 RBI out of the 5-hole. Oh and one. And this one paints the black on the outside corner. Make it 0 and 2. You see Ordway's stats on the season. Kohlhofer trying to work her way out of a two-out jam here. See if she can get it done. Popped up, straight back, giving chase. It's out of play. Ordway protecting with 2 strikes. Well, we'll see what Kohlhofer decides to come with here. Her out pitch is kind of a hybrid from what Coach Nelson told me. It's kind of a drop curve. It's got a little bit of action of both pitches. She's definitely ahead in the count here. She can waste one if she wants, and she does inside. One and two. Oh, she got away with one. A rise ball. It didn't come in with a ton on it. And Ordway was just underneath it. Boy, barreling that one up would have scored at least one, and Kohlhofer got away with it. She's still ahead in the count, though, 1-2. We'll see what she's got here. Trying to snuff out the Defiance threat here in the bottom of the first. Ordway trying to keep the line moving. Got her swinging, strike three. A Premier Bank strikeout ends the Defiance threat here in the bottom of the first. No runs on one hit, no errors, and 2 left aboard. We're through 1, no score. Bulldogs and Spartans, you're watching DCTV Sport.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Back at Defiance, top of the second. No score in this 2025 Division III sectional first-round playoff game between the Spartans of Lima Senior and the hosts, Defiance Bulldogs. Top of the second brings up 4, 5, and 6. Amaya King, Ariana Edens, and Cadence Holbrook all set to take their cuts against freshman starter Addie Miller. As that one's off the mark, evens things up at 1 ball and 1 strike. King hitting a healthy 409. Stands very deep in the box. She's almost out of the box. As this one misses inside and maybe a little low. Lima Senior plays out of the Toledo City League. It's a much smaller league. This one, swing and a miss, and did that crack Chloe Seiler? It bounced in front, and okay, the ball bounced off her. She's going to reattach the shin guards. If there is a tougher player on this roster, you tell me who it is. Chloe Seiler, all smiles, having a little bit of a joke with home plate umpire James Renault, but she has taken a pounding this year, and she just keeps coming back for more. 2-2, swing and a miss, and that's going to be a Premier Bank strikeout, number 2 of the ball game for Addie Miller. The infield will gather for a quick high five and then back into it as Ariana Edens will dig in from the right side. Edens only hitting 379 out of the 6 hole. They've got some lumber, and like most of her teammates, she stands very deep, back foot, about as far as you can go on the chalk of the batter's box and still staying inside it. Want to know the count. The freshman, Miller deals. Baby Shark paints the black on the inside corner. The 1-1. Miller rocks and fires. That one rolls across home plate. And we're going to have time being called. Coach Barsowitz going out to the circle to have a quick chat with Miller. Seiler will saunter just outside the circle. Say that 10 times fast. Seiler saunters outside the circle. And now the upperclassman pats the freshman, says, let's go get him. One more out, and you've got your second straight 1-2-3 inning. Well, the second part of a 1-2-3 inning, excuse me. It's the new math, ladies and gentlemen. We won't go into how they've lowered test requirements. Swing and a miss there. Two and two. Miller leans back, explodes forward. That swing was all arm. I'm not sure what Edens was looking for, but that one just blew right by her. It's another Premier Bank strikeout, and now we've got two away. So that'll bring up the center fielder. Cadence Holbrook hitting .325 coming into this afternoon's contest. Takes a strike even though it squirts past the catcher Seiler. Outfield still fairly deep, in particular Rollison in center. Wind maybe a little bit easier than it was just before first pitch. Shouldn't be much of a factor right now as this one, strike two. Blowing across the diamond from right to left. Over much of this season it was blowing straight out. So not quite the hitter's park that it has been, say, for the past 4 weeks. Chopper back to the mound and rushing it, Miller. Throws it well past Jalad, rounding first and into second. And this one squirts past Cullen, and it's going to get away from Ward, who backed it up, and this might score a run. They're going to go ahead and wave Holbrook around third. Oh, my goodness. A throwing error and then a crucial mental error brings home the first run of the ball game. Wow. On a ball hit back to the pitcher. An errant throw allows two bases, and then trying to back up the play, I believe it was Ordway that basically sent it underneath Cullen's glove, and Ward was backing up the play, but she was out of position. And my goodness, what an unorthodox way to score. And if you are the Spartans, you don't care because it counts just the same. So with two down, Miller's going to have to regroup here. We're still very early in this ball game, just the top of the second. 1-1 the count to Morgan Cunningham. Cunningham hitting .450. Takes in the cellar. Well, again, there's where the game maybe speeds up a little bit on you, especially as an underclassman, and Addie Miller will learn from that, but she had plenty of time. She did not need to rush that throw. As this one misses low. 3-1, and here's where she's just got to clear the mechanism, to use the old phrase, and just come at the hitter. That should be ball four. I was waiting to see what the issue might have been with Cunningham. I'm not sure she was aware of the count. But the walk sends her down to first. Brings up Ariana Compton. And Seiler's going to go bring the entire infield in. And this is where, again, you just get everybody on the same page. You're only one out away from getting out of this inning with minimal damage done. Ariana Compton hitting just a .125, and this would be a hitter that you'd think Miller would want to go after. And if you're Miller, just rear back and fire. Get ahead in the count. And this one laced into right center field. It's going to roll to the wall. Cunningham rounding second. She had to hold up, and she will storm into third. Compton with a 2-out double, and the Spartans with runners at second and third. So here's Jaelia Wilson hitting .465 out of the 9-hole. Miller deals, first pitch strike. Oh, 1 paints the black on the inside corner. Miller with a beautiful pitch. And Addie Miller 1 strike away from keeping the damage to a minimum, and she's ready to deal. The 0-2. Got her swinging, strike 3. A Premier Bank strikeout as Addie Miller strikes out the side. But a couple of key throwing errors allows the first run of the ball game to come home. 2 left aboard, and we're through 1.5. It is Spartans 1, Bulldogs nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
At Arthur Law Firm, we understand how overwhelming life can be after being seriously injured in a car accident. With over 50 years of experience, Arthur Law Firm has a track record of getting the results you deserve. When you don't know where to turn, get answers with Arthur. Call us today.
Ohio is in a foster care crisis. Kids with real needs, medical, emotional, behavioral, are waiting for homes. Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care is looking for families ready to make a difference. You've thought about it, now it's time. Contact Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care today.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Back at Defiance, we head to the bottom of the second. 1 run on 1 hit, 2 errors. It was unearned for the Spartans, but it counts just the same on the scoreboard, as it will be 6, 7, and 8. Roth, Jalad, and Seiler to take their first cuts of the afternoon against Jack Kohlhofer. Swing and a miss. Roth, freshman starting second baseman, has been playing well above her year, hitting an even 300. This one, a number to third. Coming in on it is Edens. Long throw. Not in time. Good hustle. Roth legs out an infield single. And the tying run is aboard to begin the Defiance second. That'll bring up Amira Jalad. Jalad. Hitting a $176. And the infield, at least the corners for the Spartans, are anticipating small ball. We'll see if she squares to bunt. She does not. She takes inside. The runner's off with the pitch. The throw is right on the bag by Kohlhofer, and they got her stealing. Wow. You couldn't have walked it down there and placed it any better than Angie Kohlhofer's throw. What a shot. So 1 down. Base is empty now. Jalad rips this one into left center field. It will bounce off the wall. Jalad rounding first. She will stand up into second with a 1-out double. Amira Jalad. Great rotation. Got those arms into it and sent one deep to left center field as the tying run is now at second base with only 1 away for Chloe Seiler. Seiler hitting .281 on this season. She's got 18 RBI. Number 19 would tie this game up. She takes upstairs. Kohlhofer working the ball over, trying to get maybe a little bit of condensation off of her hand. way upstairs. A little bit of chin music. Seiler holding back. Two and 0. Strike one. Good crowd on hand. Right now seeing we'll call it a pitcher's duel. Just one run between the two teams. Still very early in this game, though, with one down in the bottom of the second. Defiance with the equalizer, though, at second. This one, a little humpback liner, and in and out of the glove of Wilson. And again, a heads-up play by Jalad. She realized she'd taken probably too many steps off of second base, didn't read that down. She dove back in, and Wilson was about a step away from making a very unique double play. But as it stands, we're going to give an infield single to Chloe Seiler. Now runners at first and second for Viviana King-Maeku. Ooh, and she wears the first pitch she sees right off of her elbow. So hit by pitch, or now is the argument going to be that hit or bat? Are they going to call foul ball? And it looks like that might be the case. Everybody going back to their respective station. And home plate umpire James Renault is having a talk with assistant coach Josh Schock, and they're going to say foul ball. So instead of the bases loaded, it's 0-1. This one misses inside. Key moment in this ball game, despite it being early. A little bit late, fouled off the fists, inside out swing. We've got time being called here, and Coach Nelson's going to make a trip to the circle. And he is huddling up his battery, the Kohlhorfers, Jack the pitcher, Angie the catcher. The infield will have a chat with each other. Crucial point in this game, despite it being very early here in the bottom of the second. Spartans scored an unearned run in the top half of this inning to take an early lead. Bulldogs threatening, though, with one out, runners at first and second. Right now the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Viviana King-Maeku. Kohlhorfer, deep breath, deals, and it squirts away from Kohlhorfer and goes to the backstop. The wild pitch allows both runners to advance 60 feet. Now runners at second and third. And with the infield playing back, figure anything in play is going to tie this ball game up. The 2-2 way upstairs. This one, a ground ball to second, gobbled up by Wilson. She'll go to first, 4-1, but the tying run comes home, and advancing to third, Chloe Seiler. So Jalad scores on the RBI ground out by King-Maeku. 2 down, tied at 1. Now the go-ahead run standing at third, and the lineup turns over for shortstop Ava Cullen. Cullen 0 for 1, a snap throw down to third. Edens was there, but a nice job by Seiler to get back. She's okay. Feeling good about herself. One 1-0. Cullen looking to give her team the lead. Takes high above the visor for ball 2. Cullen on the season hitting .500, 44 hits, 31 RBI. Number 32 would give her team the lead. Two and 0. This one hit into shallow center field, coming on, and Holbrook makes the catch. Hit it right at her, and that will do it for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the second, but not before they get the equalizer. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We're through 2. Bulldogs 1, Spartans 1. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need
to make your mental health a priority.
Love your mind.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Top of the third. We've got ourselves a pitcher's duel with just enough offense to keep it interesting. Opening round of the sectional playoffs. Division 3 host Defiance leading visiting Lima Senior. Not leading, tied I should say, 1-1 after both teams putting up a single run a frame ago. Top of the third brings up the top of the order. Jack Kohlhofer with her second trip to the plate. Swings and misses over the freshman. Addie Miller's first offering for strike 1. Miller sets, deals. This one misses high. Kohlhofer will dig back in. This one fouled straight back. One and two. Miller brought a changeup, got Kohlhofer way out in front of it, but she just caught a piece of it to stay alive. This one just off the outside corner. Seiler tried to frame it up. You could hear some of the groans coming from the Defiance dugout. They wanted that one. This one way upstairs. Count now full. Kohlhofer, as we mentioned, hitting .590 on the season, but an even better on-base percentage, a massive .643. She does have 7 walks to her credit this season. Payoff pitch. Miller deals, got her swinging, strike 3, and another Premier Bank strikeout to open up the top of the third. With a freshman on the senior there, and Baby Shark comes up with a big pitch. So with 1 away, things don't get any easier as Mallory Gibson digs in. 0 for 1 with a ground out to second. Gibson hit .583 on the season. If you thought Kohlhofer's on-base percentage of .643 was good, Gibson's was .677. 1-0. Miller keeping her routine. Fouled straight back. Wind picking up just a little bit here. I'll guarantee you nobody minds. It's hot and just a little muggy today. Now, granted, all things considered, especially with the weather that we've had through the first 6 weeks of the season, we'll take it. 1-1, pulled a string, swing and a miss. Gibson, couple practice swings, digs back in. One, two. Got her looking. She took a little something off of that in a backwards K for the second Premier Bank strikeout of the third inning. Well-placed pitch by Addie Miller.
Now batting catcher, Angie Kohlhofer.
So that'll bring up the catcher, Angie Kohlhofer. 0 for 1 with a pop out to second. Top three hitters in the Spartan lineup, hitting well over 500 this season. Kohlhofer hit .563. You can hear the Spartans dugout getting a little chatty. The 1-0 popped up right side. Is it playable? Drifting over is Jalad. Bounces right over our cameraman. That seems to be a very popular location every time we do a softball game here. We may have to get extra catcher's gear or maybe just a suit of armor for our first base cameraman, but just the same. None the worse for wear, 1-1. Miller deals. Paints the black on the outside corner. Nasty pitch. Strike two. Miller looking to make it a 1-2-3 inning. It would be her second of the ball game. This one, high fly ball, right center field. Ordway drifting over, and she'll squeeze to make it just that. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through 2.5. Spartans won. Bulldogs won. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
One in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The Health Class Film Guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Visit Mark Motes Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Motes Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmotesford.com.
There you get a good look from our grandstand camera. Beautiful afternoon, wind taking the edge off of things here. It's just a little sticky, but compared to what it was 6 weeks ago,
Definitely.
nobody's complaining. Absolutely not. That mystery voice you're hearing, we should do this. If we were basically live and had a producer back at the Strady, we could do our mystery bulldog and let people go ahead and call in and win some sort of prize. But as it stands, we'll save that for a later date here. Dagan Zimpel joins us right now. Former Defiance Bulldog standout.
Yes,
Always a Bulldog at heart, though, right?
Always.
Pitching just across town at Defiance College, as this one misses upstairs. Bottom of the third brings up 2, 3, and 4. Gutierrez, Miller, and Ward. Thought I saw you styling in those big Jackie O shades behind home plate.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm like, it is. So I'm like, you know what? Let's get her on the air.
Oh,
How
yeah.
you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah,
Okay.
just came to watch some old teammates of mine play. So
have you kept an eye on the team then, off and on at least?
I've been keeping up with them. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
I have been keeping up with you too, there, Miss. We'll talk about your first entrance into the college ranks here in just a second. It's the 2-1. Swing and a miss, boy. She had her measured, just didn't get the sweet spot of the bat on it. And now it's 2-2. As a matter of fact, you've seen, what, 4 starts? Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah.
Sounds about right. They just all disappear in the wind, do you?
I know, yeah.
Moving so quick. 2-2. There is a depth of pitching on the Defiance softball roster.
Yes.
This one pops straight back. So let me ask you this. What has been the biggest challenge or biggest difference going from the high school level to the college level?
Definitely just like playing. You gotta realize you're playing against 22-year-olds. You're kind of like a freshman in high school again. You're learning your way through, and you just gotta like not be too hard on yourself. And
you can't quite throw that fastball by just everybody, can you?
No, definitely not. Yeah.
Have you worked on a secondary pitch or pitches, plural?
I'm hoping to learn a screwball this summer.
Okay.
The curveball was strong for me this year as a freshman.
Okay.
The drop ball, my coach Osborne worked with me on that quite a lot, so that became a pretty much secondary pitch.
Okay.
Yep.
2-2. Boy, Gutierrez is on it. She just can't quite barrel it up. This will be her 3rd pitch fouled away with 2 strikes, but she's hanging tough. Big things come in small packages. Bella Gutierrez is a good example of that, isn't she?
Yes.
See what she can get done here. 2-2. Looking to get the go-ahead run aboard. This one tomahawked deep to center field. Holbrook back and makes a running catch on the wall. Wow. She hit it right at her. 10 feet one way or the other, and she's at least at second base.
Good Lord.
And that was just a great running catch by the Spartan center fielder. Wow. So 1 down. So that'll bring up Baby Shark, the freshman, Addie Miller. Getting the starting nod. There's a couple of underclassmen this year that have taken over your reins.
Yeah.
Natalie Ordway, the sophomore, in here. Miller, the freshman. Have you had a chance to watch either of them play?
I agree. Obviously, last year I played with Natalie quite a bit,
Sure.
and then Addie Miller, I've been to a few games. She looks pretty strong as a freshman, so that's really good to see.
Do any of them have characteristics that remind you of a young Tegan Zipfel?
Well, as a freshman, I was learning my way through, but I think Addie Miller's definitely have a lot of potential from watching her.
She's working on a Scroogey as well.
Yep, she's looking very good.
How tough, take it after this pitch here, is the 1-1. Check swing. It's in there for a strike. That is a pitch that you have to throw with different wrist action, different spin. How tough is it to master that pitch?
Well, personally, as a screwball, I never had that in high school. I'm actually learning it as we speak, so it's definitely taking me some time, but it is a hard pitch to learn.
Chopper to third, and the throw sails wide by Edens. Miller rounding first. She will stand up in the second. They're going to waver, coming hard, and no play at the bag. So it will be a 3-base error as, again, Coach Schock being very aggressive, having her take an extra 60 feet. And now the go-ahead run is at third, and are we going to have a courtesy runner? We will. And this looks like Green will come back in to run again.
Rear-ending the base first runner is Bruce Green. Left fielder, 41.
How about this? A 3-base error with only 1 out. Ellie Ward with a chance to chase home a duck off the pond as she swings and misses. Brent Balbanut saying thanks for joining us on a Thursday afternoon. The Queen has since handed the crown off, but she's come back to her court a little bit here. Is your posse now watching you on TV? I'm sorry if I'm taking you away from social
No,
matters.
you're fine.
Okay.
No, I was just, looking.
1 ball, 1 strike to Ellie Ward. Ward wore one on the very first pitch she saw in her first at bat. That's all the way back in the first. Looks at the 1-1 here. Takes a strike on the inside corner. Talk a little bit about this year's team versus last year's. A lot of key components were back, but a lot did graduate a little bit. Can you just talk about the chemistry and what you've seen from this year's version of the Bulldogs?
I think as a younger team, I think they look a lot more as a team together, and they have a lot of potential coming up. I know a lot of them work hard. I still do stay in contact with most of them, and they said, it is a different team, but, it's a better team, and I'm just happy for them to have that.
The 1-2, high fly ball to right center field, but Holbrook is on it. She'll make the catch. It's deep enough the tag, and Gruth will come home to score standing up as the Bulldogs take the lead 2-1 on an RBI sac fly by Ellie Ward. That is what you call manufacturing a run. All right, so I'm going to ask you a point-blank question. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Since you're now technically an adult.
Oh, gosh.
But I did ask the coaching staff quite a bit.
Yeah.
As this one fouled straight back by Natalie Ordway. And they agreed you were the glue last year, obviously as a senior leader. Did you have a chat with anybody that was coming up as far as taking over that role? And what do you see as far as leadership now that you've graduated?
Obviously, our 2 seniors, Ava Colin's been a very verbal and, just example of a leader. Mira's not as verbal, but she's like the sweetest person who will always be supportive. So there's a lot of different characteristics for either one of them that both show really strong leadership skills.
Mira strikes me as the type that's going to put her arm around you and maybe walk you to the side of the field. It won't be seen by everybody, but kind of talk to you, hey, what's wrong, here's what you're working on.
Yep. So there's a good, 2 of them make up a very strong leadership.
The yin to the yang,
yes,
so to speak.
Exactly.
2-1. Inside. 3-1. Yeah, I use that analogy because I know you're a big fan of orange chicken, so I figured I'd try and get Chinese culture in. Well, we did an interview. I remember you. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Did you shake that out of your mind as quick as possible? 3-1, misses downstairs, ball 4. Ordway keeps the line moving with a 2-out walk. Brings up Addie Roth. All right, so you're playing just across town, obviously, at Defiance College.
Yes.
But what was it like? Walk back. I know it wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
But your season does start in the fall with a lot of off-season workouts.
Yes.
What was that first day like? Did you have some nerves, or were you just amped up?
I was very nervous. I was very nervous as a freshman coming in there. Our team was small, though, but a lot of good girls, a lot of good teammates were on that team. So I was very grateful and thankful for that. The first day, really, it was just a lot of, practicing, like introducing ourselves, getting to know each other better. But the fall was a lot of 3.5-hour practices, a lot of time.
Welcome to it.
Yes, it was so.
It takes, it's not for everybody.
No, it's
Let's
not.
be honest. That's one thing after this pitch I want you to break down what your time management's like, what a typical day for Tegan Ziffel is. Is this one, a little humpback liner, shallow center, it will get down. Rounding second, Ordway will stand up into third. A 2-out single, and the Bulldogs continue to threaten with runners at the corners. Well placed there by Roth. Didn't try and do too much with it. Just punched it back up the middle. And the line keeps moving for, I think Tegan called her the sweetest, Amira Jalad. See if she can pick up a sweet hit and an RBI here.
Oh.
Takes a strike inside. Uh-oh, snap throw down to third. It scoots away, and that's going to allow another run. Ordway will come home, advancing to second. Roth will stop, and that is a giveaway run by the Spartans, and it's an extra little bit of padding now as it's 3-1 Bulldogs. Owen won the count. Jalad with a swing and a miss. All right, so take us through a typical day. What time you up, and what time you finally go to bed, and then everything that happens in between.
Well, depending on class schedule, I was usually up by 7 on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays with 8 a.m. classes. We would have lift at a girl mirror.
All right, this one lined into left field. They're going to go ahead and wave Addie Roth around third, and the line keeps moving. The scoreboard keeps changing. It's now 4-1 Defiance.
Every day, usually we'd have a team lift at 11 a.m., and then we'd all head to lunch, and then usually an afternoon class or two for depending on the person. And then we'd have practice 3:30 to 7 or 7:30. So about 3 hours and a half of practice each night. So you just had to learn how to do your homework on time.
Chloe Seiler lines one just foul down the left field line. So are you pretty much exhausted by the time you go to bed?
Pretty much. I mean, and it wasn't even preseason. Like, it wasn't even your actual season. So it is a lot of time, but you have to be truly dedicated and really focus on your schedule
Obviously.
and get all your work done.
Well, now you have the benefits of laptops and being able to take
Oh,
mobile
yes.
classes nowadays. Way back when I played, just a couple years ago, we weren't allowed to leave until after 3 o'clock because you had to schedule classes before 3 to make sure you didn't get hit with the missed class time.
Yeah.
So does that make it easier for you? Is your schedule at least flexible enough to allow for you guys to travel?
Yes, especially in the spring, our advisors usually do not schedule like night classes for us.
Okay.
And if we do, we're excused and all that. So it's pretty nice.
1-2, Seiler digs back in, nails, takes above the letters, ball 2. What advice would you give to somebody who's thinking about playing at the next level? Because there are a lot of long bus rides. There's some bad road food every now and then. There are some hot hotels that maybe don't have the air conditioning working. But at the same time, having gone through it myself and having talked to basically hundreds, if not thousands of athletes, they all say the same thing. It's worth every minute.
It is worth every minute of it, especially a sport you love to do. I feel like I could not imagine, well, I unfortunately will have to imagine it, but a life without softball, and it just gives me something to do every day, and just how you make new friends easily. I do not regret doing it at all.
You're just finishing up your first year as well, so you got 3 more here. What's the challenge for yourself? What have the coaches told you they want to see from you next season?
Personally, I'm just trying to make strides in each, hitting, pitching, outfield work, every year. I'm just trying to make a stride and move in a positive direction. Obviously, it's not always easy your freshman year, but it's always room to build up. So it just takes dedication. You just got to keep working.
And a short memory sometimes?
Yes, that's very right, yeah.
Well, I'm looking down here. You've had 7 starts. You're 2-4 on the season. You didn't think that I wouldn't make good on my word. I told you I was going to follow you.
Yeah.
I did. And at the same time, you're, again, well, now it's going to be a sophomore, right? By the time you finish, technically you don't have to wait until the fall semester.
Yes.
Everybody's going to consider you a sophomore. But has there been somebody that maybe mentored you, one of your teammates that kind of took you under her wing and kind of showed you the ropes, so to speak?
Our senior pitcher was a very big leader, a part of our team. She led us in not just physical ways, but also mentally. So she helped all of us in ways I'm so grateful for, and it made it a lot easier for us.
1-1 rolls across the plate. King Maeku taking, and that's a great stab by Angie Kohlhofer. 1-1 the count. Does it seem like a long time ago that you were in that circle, or does it seem like a snap of the fingers?
It does. As my college season did feel like it flew by, but it feels like I was on this field a long time ago. It truly does, but I do miss it, and it made me who I am today. So
part of it.
It's part of it, yeah.
Well, you and I are going to chat off the air. You know that you will now have an open invitation to throw one of these on anytime you'd like. I think you might like to take that up and do some color in the future.
I would love to do that.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll actually pay you for it, too.
Oh, okay.
How about that?
Even better.
Now all of a sudden her eyes light up, ladies and gentlemen. She's like, yeah, sure, working with Brent, no problem. What? I'll get paid? All of a sudden, completely different energy level now. I'm not sure how to take that, but I'll...
I would have for free.
Don't say that. You have no idea what kind of road you're paving. Fouled away, 3-2. King Maeku trying to blow this game open as the Bulldogs have already plated 3 here in the bottom of this frame. Swing and a miss. A Premier Bank strikeout will end it for the Bulldogs as Kohlhofer keeps the damage to 3, but not before a big crooked number. 3 runs. 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 left the board. We are through 3. Bulldogs 4, Spartans 1. Back after this, you're watching DCTV Sports.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Good look from our center field cameras. We welcome you back to the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union celebrating 70 years of helping you achieve your dreams and securing your future. Visit them in Defiance, Bryan, or Napoleon, or as always online at midwestcommunity.org. Brent Balbinot going solo. I caught her out of the corner of my eye. Did you peek into the press box? Did you know?
I mean, I didn't know you were in here, no.
Okay.
I couldn't see you from all the way over there.
I was like, I'm not going to let her get out of here. Tegan Ziffel, former Defiance Bulldogs standout, now at Defiance College, being gracious enough to throw on a headset and help for an inning or two here. I wanted to keep you around for another half inning because the young baby shark here, freshman Addie Miller, in the circle. And she did give up an unearned run in that second inning, and it came on a throwing error. But she has since seemingly flushed that. She got a 1-2-3 frame. She's looking for another here as she deals this one. Oof, my goodness. Confines are close. Coach Nelson just kind of waves and says, I'm all good.
Ooh.
It is a tight space here at the Defiance softball field. All right, so we're looking at the freshman. I want you, after this next pitch, to watch her routine because it's almost like a ritual. She gets the ball, marches out 5 or 6 feet from the circle.
I did notice that.
I want you to break it down for her. And what works for you is this one misses down low. But walk us through what you see here in the young freshman, however you stay focused, right?
Well, it's actually funny because our coach, Barslowitz, on her team is actually her older sister, and her older sister actually taught me to do the same routine of walking a few steps behind the mound, taking a breath, and then walking up. And I do think that helps between every pitch to, let the last pitch go and focus on the next one. So, I mean, I really like to see that.
And is there an issue in the dugout? I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, they're going to warm up a new pitcher, so they were asking for time to allow a couple players to get down the right field line. So we're just past the 6 o'clock hour. We're just over an hour into this ball game as we're here in the top of the fourth, 4-1. Defiance with the lead. I want you to expand on that a little bit more after this pitch, though. Clear your mind, but focus your mind on the next pitch. I mean, you're having to do a lot in literally a very short amount of time. The 2-1. Miller misses upstairs. Walk us through what that means for somebody that would have, I don't want to say trouble putting their arms around it, but to clear your mind, but then all of a sudden lock back in the space of, half a second? How do you do that?
You just got to realize, okay, even if it's an error or if it's a hit, okay, it's part of the game. It happens. I just got to move on and realize, okay, I'm going to get the next batter. I'm going to get the next out. And that's very important. That's a really key to the game as a pitcher and their mindset.
How about your scout? I mean, you know what hitters – I will say this without trying to go overboard in our praise for the young lady sitting to my left right now. Swing and a miss, and from 3-1, Miller bows her neck and gets a Premier Bank strikeout to open up the fourth. At the high school level, now this is a different team, too, with Lima Senior, because they've got their top third hitting well over 500 and through 6, even 7, hitting over 300. Let's be honest, there are certain hitters that you could throw probably anything by and you were going to be able to take care of them.
Yep.
But when the scout was out and knowing how to pitch, learning where to pitch, walk us through what your preparation was like before game, but then also in game to make any adjustments.
I mean, it's very important to hit your spots, obviously. And if you didn't, usually it's going to get rocked. And, every pitcher learns the hard way, okay, I just totally missed that. I messed that up. But, I really need to focus and get the right spot in. And Coach Barslowitz is always about accuracy and hitting your spots because this is very important, or else, it could be a game changer for hitting.
The 1-1 from Miller. This one lined into right center field. It will get down on a hop. Oh, took a weird bounce. Had a ton of English on it, and Ordway had to reach behind her and really make a solid play. If that gets by her, that's easily an extra 1, maybe 2 bases. All right. I think I know you well enough that I can tease you just a little bit. You bowled a few pitches over home plate early in the season.
I did.
And I was always wondering, was that a change that got away on you? Was that a particular grip that in the cold weather you just didn't have a good feel for?
Well, as a pitcher, I throw a drop ball that's kind of different than most. I throw a peel drop, it's called, and if I miss it, it's usually just like a fastball, and that's the problem. Like, if I do get, hit up pretty well, it's usually on an inside fastball or a drop ball that didn't break. And I've had to learn the hard way, especially in college. Like, you really need to focus on that and really peel the pitch down so it drops.
Miller with a nice job fielding her position on the sacrifice bunt as they get the out at first. It does the job as it advances the runner, but 2 away with Gibson now standing at second base. As I was just getting to know you, and if I knew how ornery you were before, because I thought, oh man, she's very quiet, she's kind of sensitive, she maybe beats herself up a little bit, and if she doesn't, even when you win, if you didn't pitch your best, you were still upset at yourself. But I remember after the Fairview game once, you looked at me and said, you remember what you said to me?
No, I didn't.
I'm a warm weather pitcher. So we kept waiting for the temperatures to rise.
That was just because Coach Parrish said that in the paper, so I kind of took it as like, okay, I'm going to show him a cold weather pitcher too. So it kind of just gave me like a little.
Good on you. So you use that as some motivation?
Yeah, but also made me laugh in a way.
She's smiling now. She can smile after the fact when you win a conference championship and make a deep run in the postseason. I was talking with Coach Parrish about that Bryan game. Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
That game, yeah.
With that said,
so close.
What did you learn about yourself? Anything that you could have taken forward?
That I feel like I was a player who never gave up and who always fought until the end. And I mean, I'm going to live by that till this day of, just giving it your all until you can't. And until it's the last pitch, or even with anything else in life, you just can't give up because you never know how it's going to end and what's going to happen.
Sure.
So
we have time here. We had a ball get away from the bullpen catcher. The sun's starting to cast a little bit of shadows now across the diamond.
Yes.
Bella Gutierrez at third is completely in the shade as this one, a chopper to the third baseman. She's just money. She makes it look so easy, almost like they always come to her. Bella Gutierrez scored 5-3 on the putout. And the threat by Lima Senior is snuffed out. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left the board. We're through 3.5. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Bulldogs 4, Spartans 1. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need
To make your mental health a priority.
love your mind.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
There's a good shot of our gallery. Good crowd on hand here today. The hosts, Defiance Bulldogs, leading the visiting Spartans of Lima Senior by a score of 4-1 as the bottom of the 4th will bring up the top of the order. Ava Cullen, Bella Gutierrez, and Addie Miller in the hole. Bulldogs looking for more as Cullen, looking at a 2-0 count. She will be continuing her college career, not continuing her college career, her softball career in college. About an hour and a half away from here. She's going to be a All-State Cardinal.
Yep.
This one fouled straight up, giving chase is Kohlhofer, and it's going to get into the first row of the stands. All right, now I've got to ask you this. And I will give him equal time to reply. You know where I'm going, don't you? Do you know where I'm going?
No.
Starting next year, there are going to be 2 Zipfels on
gosh,
Defiance
I
College's
know.
campus.
Yes.
As that Henri cousin of yours, Brez,
Yep.
is taking a scholarship to play baseball.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you, and you can go any way you want. I'm not leading you
No,
in
that's
any
fine,
direction. Who's going to be the most athletic Zipfel on campus? It's this one, well struck right at Holbrook. Ava Cullen buried that ball, but right at Holbrook, she didn't even have to move one away.
That's a very good question. I think, Brez, I think is more athletic than me personally, but, I put a lot of work in. So, I mean, not saying he doesn't, but, I try to make it as balanced as I can.
Okay, now, seriously, I am not leading you in any direction. You are answering of your own free will.
But I'm very excited about that. I think us growing up together and playing sports at the same place has helped us personally in different ways. And I mean, I've always had him, by my side through everything.
Sure.
So that's awesome to watch him succeed and continue at the college level also. And DC has a really good baseball program, good kids and all that. So I'm excited for him personally.
They're getting a steal. I will say
Yes.
this. Gutierrez fouls this one over the first base dugout. Bella Gutierrez 0 for 2 on the afternoon with a strikeout swinging in the first and a fly out to center field in the third. Looking at a 1-1 count. This one got a little underneath it into right field. Lot. Well, I tell you what, sometimes you just hit them where they ain't.
I know.
Other times right at them. And
Yes.
the Spartans outfield hasn't really had to move a whole lot this afternoon.
No.
So with 2 down, that'll bring up Addie Miller. Did you really look? I remember talking with you. You were almost a given that you were going to go to D.C., though, weren't you?
Yeah.
Did anybody else even come around?
Yes, but with the offer I had or how much I had to pay to go to school, it was very hard to pass up. And I did like the coaches on campus as well. So it just seemed like a very good environment for me. I'm very close with family too in town, so that was another factor that played a role. But it was a very good decision for me personally, and I was excited that I made the right choice because some people don't.
Oh, Miller smokes this one into left center field. One hop to the wall. If she's not standing at second in a couple of seconds, we'll be stunned as she stands up, lacing a 2-out double. Addie Miller has reached safely in all 3 at-bats this afternoon. And that is her second double. How good is she going to be? And Green will come in to be a courtesy runner. Just a freshman. She might be breaking a few Zipfel records here over the next 3 seasons. What do you think?
Yeah. Definitely. Yep.
We won't give her that honor just yet, okay? You're still the queen until somebody comes and takes the crown. All right, so let's talk about the term student athlete, though. You obviously have to crack a book. Have you picked a major yet?
I'm going to be life science education, so in high school, a biology teacher, hopefully, something along those lines.
Do you think you might come back across town and eventually coach softball?
I'm hoping to. Yeah, that's my plan.
All right.
Teaching's kind of ran in the blood for a while, so
so I've heard.
I'm excited for that.
Score at 5-3 on the putout. We will keep it here. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 1 left aboard. We're through 4. Defiance 4. Lima Senior 1. Again, we're not going to graduate you too soon.
No.
You obviously have 3 more years of college and hopefully some expertise in that circle for the softball team.
Definitely.
What advice would you give, not just to any one of your former Defiance teammates, but if there's a young softball player right now watching and they're thinking, I want to be able to have it all, I want to be able to do it all. It does come at a price, as you mentioned, but what advice would you give them?
I mean, it's all about putting in the work and dedicating your time because you don't know how far you can go, how much you can do until you actually try. And that's the thing that's pushed me the most is, okay, I may not be good now as a freshman, but depending on how much work and time I put in until I become a senior, you don't know how much you can do and how good you will be. So, just don't give up and keep trying and give it your all. I mean,
if I'm hearing you right, though, too, is there a certain amount of humility you have to mix in with
definitely,
that?
Yes.
Addie Miller has, hard to believe, she's just finishing her freshman season. How good number 12 is going to be over the next 3 years as she deals 5, 6, and 7. Edens, Holbrook, and Cunningham. 1-0 the count. Edens, we're into the 5th inning, and this is just the second trip to the plate for the bottom of the order. Miller has just been surgical. Swing and a miss. She pulled a little something off of that one. How tough is it to learn how to throw a change?
Change was actually like my second pitch, but, there's several ways of throwing it, and I throw a flip change, and that took a long time to master. So it just depends, the pitcher and the way you throw it.
Let me ask you this, too, and I think she went into the Army, if I'm not mistaken, but your other half of the battery, Vita Caceres, how much confidence did it give you knowing you had a senior backstop like her as the other half of your battery?
I think in an interview once in the paper, they asked me the same question. It does put your mind to rest a little bit by having somebody who knows you and who pretty much almost stops everything in case you do make a mistake. And that's like the thing that really helped, especially for me, 3+ years of having her back there. It was definitely a positive to have.
Boy, Natalie Ordway was battling that setting sun. She did not have a beat on it, but she didn't panic. She stayed put and then found it, and a couple of steps in, she puts the leather to it for the first out. Did Vita finish her sentences then as well? Did she know you, complete you kind of?
I bet she did. We never tested that, but by the end of our senior season, I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm going to ask you about the other half of the battery here right now, because Chloe Seiler has taken over. Very good-natured, sometimes maybe a little silly. She's taken a beating this year. It's an incredibly physical position. But we've been talking about Addie Miller. What do you see from Chloe Seiler taking over for Vita?
She's been in there a few times last year, too, and she does a pretty good job. It takes time to learn the position, especially in high school, and I think she's done a really good job as I watch her these last couple games.
Especially with a freshman, you maybe have to take a little bit more of a leadership role as a catcher, whereas you as a senior, as was Vita, though, she didn't maybe have to come out and give you the pep talk or calm you down. Sounds like you did that a lot yourself, or did she? Did she come out?
It depended on the game. There's always those times where maybe you need someone to come up and, give you a little talk. But
so you
just got to take it and be like, okay, at least she cares, and I will fix it.
So if I were to take a picture of you two talking in the circle, what should the caption have been? Good to know you care? Or it would be nice if you'd visit while I was doing well sometimes.
Yeah.
What would the caption be?
Sometimes it would have been some silly stuff like, I just came out here, to waste time. Or it was like, okay, you need to, focus on your spots. And as a catcher, it's nice to have that because you might need somebody to tell you that other than a coach sometimes,
So it wasn't always ball. It was just
it depended, yeah.
Girl chat?
It could have been,
okay.
Yeah.
We will draw the curtain of charity on that. We won't ask you to get too personal. 0-1. Miller looking for a 1-2-3 inning. This one fouled back. All right, you're ahead in the count here, 0-2. What are you going to – you waste a pitch here if you're Addie Miller, or just bring your best and try and set her down quick?
Knowing Coach Barswitz, she's probably going to waste one and try to go far outside, but
well, let's take a look.
I don't know. It's a good call, especially –
the 0-2, she just tried to paint the black on the outside corner. That's a tough frame for Chloe Seiler because that ball was up. So to have to turn your glove over and bring it in, tough to frame up.
Now she'll probably try to go for the strikeout here.
1-2. Cole Horfer reaches out. And this one, boy, battling that sun. Jalad is there, and she makes the catch. And that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. Tegan Ziffel, thank you so much for coming up and joining us. It really was fun to catch up with you.
Good catching
Hopefully
up with you.
We'll get you to throw on a headset for a full game in the future.
Yes.
4-1. Bulldogs lead the Spartans. We're going to take a quick timeout. You're watching DCTV Sports.
In life, unexpected challenges can test us. If you've been seriously injured in a car accident, you deserve a team that understands. Because your story matters. Call Arthur Law Firm today. We'll fight for you every step of the way.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Ohio is in a foster care crisis. Kids with real needs, medical, emotional, behavioral, are waiting for homes. Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care is looking for families ready to make a difference. You've thought about it, now it's time. Contact Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care today.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
A little bit of, I guess, pseudo line dancing in the Spartans dugout. Kind of tough to be a line dancer of one, though, isn't it? Either way. Bottom of the fifth, Cole Horfer getting set to deal to 5, 6, and 7. Ordway, Roth, and Jalad. Bulldogs put up a big crooked number in the bottom of the third, 3 spot. And that's been the difference in the ball game. There was some action in the Spartan bullpen an inning ago, but Cole Horfer is back in the circle. This one, nice job to Buster inside for a strike. This one, not quite barreled up. It had kind of a hollow sound like it might have been off the bat. It's a liner to second, and Wilson nicely fielding her position for the first out. So that'll bring up Addie Roth. Roth having a good afternoon. She's 2 for 2 with a run scored. Goalhofer misses upstairs. The 1-0. Chopper, great backhanded stop by Edens. It's going to be a long throw, and she can't do it. She kept it on the infield, and that's going to go down as an infield single. Tough play for Edens. She got some leather on it and then wisely decided don't risk it. So here's Jalad digging in from the right side. Amir also having a good afternoon. 2 for 2. Run scored. This one well struck into left field. It's going to bounce off the wall. Sprinting around third, Roth picking him up and laying him down. She'll score all the way from first, and then the throw on the infield gets over the head of Edens and advancing another 60 feet. Jalad now standing at third on the RBI double, and then taking the extra station on the error by the throw. And it's now 5-1 Bulldogs. Again, not looking too far into the future. And are we going to have a pitching change? I believe we may. Cole Horfer hands the ball over to her teammate. And that is going to be it for this afternoon, as this is McKaylee Lott, who will now be in the circle. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll get you Lott's stats on the season when we return. Defiance plates another run here with nobody down in the bottom of the fifth. They lead it 5-1 and a runner at third. We're back after this call to the bullpen by the Arthur Law Firm. Passionate, professional, personal. Learn more at arthurlaw.com. We're back right after this on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Visit Mark Motes Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Motes Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmotesford.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Well, back at Defiance, we do have a pitching change as Jack Kohlhofer is being. Now, I thought Kohlhofer was going to short, but she's actually going to left. And I believe this is going to be Cunningham. It's coming into play short. McKaylee Lott is going to be the new pitcher, and it will be Ariana Compton in right, but they are playing Chloe Seiler to pull. And when I say pull, I mean pull. And she does. High fly ball deep into foul territory, and Kohlhofer runs out of real estate. Lott, I believe an underclassman, and nowhere near the fastball, or the experience for that matter. A youngster cutting her teeth. And as such, Coach Nelson is really adjusting his defense. I mean, in effect, you'd call this the shift. That one just lazily guided in. 2-1. Nobody out. A runner at third in a 5-1 game. That one off the inside handle, fouled up the third base line. We'll even the count up at 2-2. Lott is a completely different look from Kohlhofer. Lott is clearly just going for placement here. She's not going to blow it by anybody. And Seiler is going to have to really sit back and be patient and wait on it. She fouls this one back. My goodness. She took a rip. But you really have to sit back. This is, I'm not going to be disrespectful to the young lady. It's not slow pitch slow, but it is not what they've been used to seeing for the first 5 innings. This one, almost an Ephus pitch. It comes down a little late. And it's now 3-2. We'll see if Seiler gets something to hit. Jalot at third. Represents the 6th run of the ball game. This one low, ball 4. So runners at first and third, and here is Viviana King Mayeku. 0 for 2. She's grounded out to second. She has struck out swinging. Lott, and they're going to continue to keep this defensive adjustment. I mean, Kohlhofer can't get much closer to the left field foul line as this one squirts away, coming home and scoring. Jalad scores, taking second, and now on a errant throw coming back from the catcher, heads up play by Seiler to take another station. She's now into third. So make it 6-1. Defiance. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Mayeku way in front of this. Nifty moves by Coach Schock getting out of the way. Oh, I think he even heard me. He's coming out with a dance video, instructional dance video in the next month or two. And is there a question as to a substitute here? Yes, there's going to be a pinch runner or courtesy runner.
Entering the game as a courtesy runner is number 25, Michaela Gomez.
Michaela Gomez now in as a courtesy runner. Two balls and no strikes. King Maeku would love to pick up her first hit of the ball game. Woo! That is a shot. Gomez didn't even flinch. But again, as you've seen, with the considerable change of pace from Lott, Defiance's hitters are way out in front here. You've got to stay back on her. It's so tough. A base hit here would bring home the 7th run of the ball game. Upstairs. Isn't that ball 4? Okay, apparently not. It's 3-2. Payoff pitch coming here. Boy, that was like a changeup plus. I don't know what you can do there if you're King Maeku to time that down and where that was placed, and it's strike 3. And Viviana, don't feel bad because that was next to impossible to gauge. As Cullen steps up, and they're going to walk her. They're going to intentionally walk Ava Cullen to bring up Gutierrez. Bella Gutierrez. 0 for 3. They'd rather pitch to the junior third baseman than the senior shortstop. See if Gutierrez can make them pay. Runner up with the pitch. Ground ball. Diving stop. There's no play. Again, a tremendous job by Mallory Gibson to keep the ball on the infield. It's an infield single. It does score Gomez to make it 7-1. So now runners at first and second. After the infield single by Gutierrez, here's Miller digging in. Miller looking at a 1-0 count. She has reached base safely in all 3 of her at-bats so far here this afternoon. 2 doubles and reached on an error in the third. She came around to score one of the 3 runs that the Bulldogs played at that inning. 1-0 bounces across the plate, and everybody's going to advance the station. Cullen into third. Gutierrez into second. 2 more in scoring position. Well, if Miller can chase these 2 home, now all of a sudden, Defiance is starting to think mercy rule. This one, slow roll to short. Low throw, and it gets away from King. 1 run is home. 2 runs are home. Racing around second and standing up into third. Miller on a 3-base throwing error brings 2 more home to make it 9-1 Defiance. So here's Ellie Ward digging in. Squaring to bunt. This one back to Scott, and instead will flip and prevent the runner to come home. That's a heads-up play by Lott. So now we have runners at the corners. And Natalie Ordway is scheduled to hit. And that would mean that Defiance has hit around this inning. Are we going to have a courtesy runner at first? We are not. Okay. Instead, we're going to have a pinch hitter for Ordway, as it's going to be Jada Alvarez.
Now batting for Defiance, Jada Alvarez.
Alvarez digs in. Takes the ball. Runner takes off from first. Ward is into second base. Looking to see if I can find a batting average for Jada Alvarez as a swing and a miss. I thought that might have been fouled away, but instead it's just a pass ball. And it allows another Defiance run to come home. And the floodgates have just completely opened up for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the fifth. It's now 10-1 as they brought 6 home. Jada Alvarez. There we go. Has yet to establish a batting average. She's only had 5 at-bats. This would be her 6th of the season. She's looking at a 3-1 count here. And she takes in the dirt, ball 4. Well, Addie check that. Isn't that ball 4? My book, and I'm not the only one in the press box that thought that that was ball 4. Apparently we had a phantom pitch. That is ball 4. Ball 5. Tell you what, you ever been down to Texas A&M when a pitcher misses on 4 straight? I've seen as high as ball 14. It gets into the opponent's heads. It's nothing like it.
Number 16, Addie Suarez.
This is Addie Suarez as, again, they're going to empty the bench right now for Defiance, and understandably so. Looking in to see, no surprise, this might be her first varsity at bat of the season. Yeah, I believe it is. 1-0, it's 10-1. This one a strike on the inside corner as they will go ahead and send Alvarez down to second. So Defiance looking for one more run. And they will be looking at the mercy rule. Low and slow, which is great for barbecue, but that is a ball. 1-1. This one rolls across the plate and a great stop by Kohlhofer. Two and 1. This one popped up, coming in and off the glove of Wilson. The run will score. Ellie Ward to make it 11-1, and that is going to be the ball game, courtesy of the mercy rule. Well, it was a game for about 3, even 4 innings, but just simply too much for Defiance here this afternoon, as the final 11-1 in 5 innings. And the Bulldogs will advance to next week's action, second round, as they will take on top-seeded Salina at Racers Park on the campus of the University of Northwest Ohio. So what we're going to do is take a quick timeout. We'll come back for the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. I'll try and grab a player or two as well. Final score, Defiance 11. Lima Senior 1. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
In life, unexpected challenges can test us. If you've been seriously injured in a car accident, you deserve a team that understands. Because your story matters. Call Arthur Law Firm today. We'll fight for you every step of the way.
Ohio is in a foster care crisis. Kids with real needs, medical, emotional, behavioral, are waiting for homes. Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care is looking for families ready to make a difference. You've thought about it, now it's time. Contact Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care today.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
You get a good look at our center field camera. This place was packed just about an hour and a half ago, but it is now in the books. And a close game turned into a blowout after a 3-run bottom of the third, and Defiance kept the pressure on. 7 in the bottom of the 5th, and they end up mercy ruling Lima Senior by a final of 11-1. Now here's the interesting thing for the Spartans. They are not done. They actually have a Toledo City Conference game tomorrow. The winner of that contest, I believe it's against Start, will actually win the conference championship. So despite losing in the opening round of the sectionals, they still have one more game left to go. On the flip side, so does Defiance, as the number 3 seed is advancing, as they will take on the number 1 seed Salina next week at Racer Park at the University of Northwest Ohio. And that's going to be an afternoon game at 4 o'clock as we are awaiting the team huddle to break up. I don't know if we got a shot of that or not, but Coach Parrish, thumbs up. Thank you very much, Heather. Going to be sending up a couple of players for us to talk to. I believe we're going to talk to freshman Addie Roth and then also junior catcher Chloe Seiler. So situation here where everybody got in on the act today, and we're going to have one underclassman and one upperclassman. How about this, though, too, the Baby Shark? Addie Miller was nothing short of spectacular in the circle again today. 5 innings pitched. She allowed just 2 hits. She only walked 1. Cursory check of my scorebook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strikeouts. And she got some very solid defense behind her as well. So a situation where she only allowed 3 base runners on the afternoon. And again, pitching to contact, doing a good job giving up the first run of the ball game on an errant throw, but she locked back in, and her teammates picked her up en route to an 11-1 victory. At the plate for the Bulldogs, I'm looking down here. Everybody that came to the plate today either reached base, had an RBI or scored, with the exception of the 9-hole. So everybody kept that line moving today, and they're going to keep that line moving into next week as they will take on the top seed. It will be Salina at Racer Park. That will be a 4 o'clock first pitch. Now, we were anticipating making the trip down there to get that game, but with the baseball sectionals brackets released, Defiance plays at home on that first night as well. So we will wait and see. Rest assured, keep an eye on our Facebook page and social media, and we will let you know which one that we are going to be covering next Wednesday. But good problem to have is you've got both the softball and the baseball team for the Bulldogs planning on making long runs into the postseason. What we're going to do is take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll continue with our Mark Motes Ford game recap and stat summary and the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need to make your mental health a priority.
Love your mind.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Well, we welcome you back to Defiance as the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show continues. Brent Balbinot saying thank you for joining us as Defiance advances as they take care of Lima Senior here this afternoon. Look, this was a tight game through the first 4 innings, and then all of a sudden a 7-spot exploding in the bottom of the 5th, and they run-ruled the Spartans 11-1, which means, guess what? You get to wear the uniform one more time.
Yeah.
Big smiles. How does it feel? What did Coach say to you guys?
It feels great. I'm super happy to move on to the next game. Gives us an extra opportunity to get farther into the season, even though typical season's already over.
Sure.
I'm super excited. I want to keep going, move forward, and potentially make it all the way to state, and I think we can do it.
Deep run here. Now, you can't win 2 before you win 1. You can't win 3 before you win 2. By the way, introductions in order here. Chloe Seiler and Addie Roth, catcher and second baseman. Addie, let's talk a little bit about this, too, because as a freshman, you're one of the 2 baby sharks that get a start in the roster here. We talked to Addie Miller last week, but what was it like as a freshman not having anything to compare this to? How's the challenge and how's the adjustment been for you?
It started off, I was very nervous, obviously. It was hard at first, but the adjustments of the girls made me feel really comfortable, and they're just awesome. The girls are so supportive and made me feel at home and very welcome. So
anybody in particular take you under their wing or give you some advice?
The upperclassmen, really. I mean, Ellie Ward and Ava Cullen, both I'm really good friends and super close to them, and they're just so sweet, all of them, honestly.
This team's so sweet. Everybody's sweet when you win, right? Chloe, how about you? We gave you the nickname Nails. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
You've been banged up
yeah.
a lot this season. Matter of fact, you just finally got back today. I'll ask you the same question, but from a different perspective, because you've been on the roster, but taking over for Vita Caceres last year. Did you pick anything up from her? Did she give you any advice? And what was your adjustment like?
I really loved her. I looked up to her a lot, actually, because she was starting catcher. She was a senior. I was just a little baby freshman coming in the program. And she really, gave me motivation to keep going. And I feel like she did strive me to get better because I looked up to her.
Sure.
Looked up to her as I was younger.
As far as in regard to motivation, I guess I should say, did she give you any skill set tips about how to play the position?
Really, just don't let your ump behind you get hit with the ball. Because if the ump doesn't get hit, that means you're blocking everything.
Sure. So do you now, again, when I played just a couple of years ago, our catchers would always joke, but they're also trying to make a good first impression with the home plate umpire.
Yeah.
And our guys would always come up, shake hands, introduce themselves, and say something like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so. I'll be protecting you today." Do you have that kind of banter with the umpires as well?
Yeah, I'm talking to the umps almost all game. Typically, with a new ump, I haven't had this ump that we had tonight before, so it was of course, always a little awkward at the beginning.
Sure.
But once I make a joke, we're just talking the rest of the game.
How about two also learning what their strike zone is?
Yeah.
And being able to frame, being able to know what to call against certain batters, their strengths and weaknesses. How long does it take you to feel out a home plate umpire?
Probably well, it depends on how many different pitches whoever's pitching is throwing and what spots they're hitting to see where the ump will call it. And sometimes umps mess up, they miss, they let me know.
Never.
Even tonight one time, he said that I messed up on that one. I was like, that's perfectly
You don't say anything at that point, right? If he knows and he admits it,
Yeah.
you don't rub his nose in it, right?
No, I'm just like, you're fine. It's perfectly fine.
She smiles so that way she gets the next one,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to ask you the same question, Addie, but from the hitter's perspective.
Okay.
Knowing, and again, you had a future college pitcher in Cole Horford. She's going to be pitching at Northern Ohio. Again, how long did it take you to kind of feel her out, and at the same time, what the umpire strike zone was tonight?
Normally, it's about my second at-bat that I can make some adjustments. I don't know, really.
See it, hit it? Is it that simple?
Yes. The strike zone, honestly, again, second at-bat, knowing what the pitcher is pitching and what she likes. So, really, it's just that.
So, you've got one win underneath your belt. You know that you're guaranteed next week against the top seed. You get to go to Racer Park. What's the next week going to be like as far as practice and preparation for you guys?
I feel like it's going to be a lot of drill work, just making sure our fundamentals are really good and just almost perfecting our skills and just repetition over and over, getting even better.
So it becomes second nature. You don't have to think about it, right? How much better can this team still get in a week?
So much better.
How much deep of a run? You guys openly talking about making the run, or are you just taking it one game at a time?
Well, we are taking it one game at a time, but our end goal is getting as far as we possibly can.
We're coming for revenge next week. That's all.
Little unfinished business
Yes.
still?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
One at a time. I tell you what, do yourselves a favor, at least for tonight. Enjoy it. Congratulations, winner.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank
winner.
you.
Addie Roth and Chloe Seiler joining us on the postgame. We're going to take a quick time out. We're back to put a blue and white bow on the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
At Arthur Law Firm, we understand how overwhelming life can be after being seriously injured in a car accident. With over 50 years of experience, Arthur Law Firm has a track record of getting the results you deserve. When you don't know where to turn, get answers with Arthur. Call us today.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Ohio is in a foster care crisis. Kids with real needs, medical, emotional, behavioral, are waiting for homes. Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care is looking for families ready to make a difference. You've thought about it, now it's time. Contact Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care today.
Back at Defiance, as if you needed to see me again. The Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. Brent Balbinot saying thank you for joining us as we're putting the finishing touches on it. We just heard from freshman second baseman Addie Roth and junior catcher Chloe Seiler. 11-1, the Bulldogs knock off a game. Lima senior squad, but behind 2 big innings, a 3 spot in the bottom of the 3rd and a 7 spot in the bottom of the 5th. They end this one early, courtesy of the mercy rule. So with the win, looking down here, the Bulldogs are now 17-10 overall. The Spartans fall to 8-7. Ironically, the Spartans still have a game. They've got a championship game for the Toledo City Conference to be played tomorrow, so they still have a chance to go out with a win in their final game. But it's the Bulldogs who are advancing officially as they will take on the top seed, and that will be Salina at 4 o'clock. Double checking. Make that 3 o'clock at Racer Park next Wednesday afternoon for the right to keep on wearing the uniform. That's going to do it for our broadcast here this afternoon. Big thank you going out to our crew. Big thank you going out to all of our underwriters for helping make our broadcast a possibility. And as always, you, the fan, for tuning in. Brent Balbinot saying thanks again for joining us. Final score, Defiance 11, Lima Senior 1. You've been watching a presentation of DCTV Sports.